You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
The BPO industry is one of the fastest growing industries in Jamaica. Hundreds of young people were introduced to various BPO companies at the Jampro BPO Career Fair hosted at the University of Technology. Business Access TV was there to bring you the highlights.
This is the first Jampro BPO Career Fair. Why was it important for this to get off the ground this year?
Because I think a lot of people have a really erroneous idea of what BPO is. They think it's just about call centers and sitting in a room with telephones, when actually it's interacting with technology. It's all about customers, but it's about what does the customer need. So sometimes the customer needs tech support, sometimes they need help with a legal matter, sometimes they have an accounting problem. So it's all different types of problems that BPO deals with.
What would you say is the relevance of the BPO industry in Jamaica?
Well, hugely relevant. It's the fastest growing industry we have. For the last 10 years, BPO has added each year between 5 and 10,000 jobs. There's no other industry in Jamaica today that can say that. So, and it's here and it's accelerating, and that's what's great about it.
What would you say is the overall goal or the aim for the career fair today?
We want to expose young people to the realities of BPO. We want them to hear from their peers, from their fellow young people about what it's like to work in industry. We want to demystify the industry for them. We want them also to hear from some of the successful and expanding companies here about the job opportunities. And we want some of them, those who want to get signed up to a real job.
Sector, without any form of contradiction, has provided the greatest mechanism through which we get far more jobs for the investment dollar than any other investment that has come into Jamaica over the last 10 or 15 years. So we want to spend time this morning to help you students to make a distinction, therefore, between business process outsourcing and call centers. So not just a call center where just answering persons, making queries, making complaints. The business process outsourcing organization is responsible for performing one part or a part of a process of another business organization, one in which outsourcing is done to save on cost or to improve productivity. And I have shared with persons that if you look at a normal firm where you have several departments in that firm, and it may be servicing generally the local industry. In the BPO setup, you have a number of persons who are doing similar jobs, but you are now serving international clients. So while you may be in Jamaica in a job, focusing only on the Jamaican clients, in the BPO sector, what you're now doing is in Jamaica. Instead of going to Singapore or going to Philippines or Austria or Finland or Canada to get a job, you can stay in Jamaica and get employment. That's basically what the concept is all about. And we talk about business process outsourcing, but it goes right at the highest level. We talk about knowledge process outsourcing. So whether you're an engineer, accountant, you're a graduate in banking, marketing, you can find a job because it simply means you have an organization that have clients all over the world. Legal process outsourcing. Recently we've been talking about the surplus of lawyers that we are producing in Jamaica. But here is an answer to the problem that through this particular organization, if you are a trained lawyer, there are legal services that are required internationally that we can provide for the world right here in Jamaica.
How important would you see an event like this today, the BPO Career Fair, is for the youth of Jamaica?
The government is promoting this industry. We think it offers, as I said, opportunity for maximum employment. And there's still some misunderstanding because BPO started off like the garment sector in the 80s and this time as a kind of low-entry jobs. So most of the people are just basic literacy and numeracy entering to do telemarketing and call center operation, debt collection, in which what they need was just be taught to say the right things. And our dialect is quite easily modulated and they do it very well. And that was the area that many Jamaicans view business process outsourcing as. But as indicated, in the modern world, most aspects of business processing can be outsourced, from human resources management, personnel management, accounting, insurance claims, all legal processing and so forth. And that's where we're heading now. So this fair is to give the young students an indication of what opportunities are there, what skills they can acquire, and what jobs they can get in the sector. And once they get in and acquire the skills, of course, some of them can go off to their own thing. In fact, I have a small group in Montego Bay of youngsters from the inner city who are doing a small company that does outsourcing of their own. So it's really to ensure that the upcoming generation understands the outsourcing activity, what it really means, and how we can participate in it in a meaningful way. And prevent us from really creating a kind of a bump, but rather a trajectory. Because Jamaica tends to do that. We do something, well, it gets excited, we employ 20,000 people, and then bam, it falls apart. We need to ensure that we are part of the global economy, and outsourcing will be one of the things we provide, because we can, Jamaica in terms of services and skills are very competitive and can do so where we are located successfully.
This morning we're here to look at business process outsourcing, because the internet itself has made it possible that employment, research and innovation can be done anywhere in the world, and the business, more than half of any business process outsourcing process can be done anywhere in the world. So that the big companies, whether General Motors or Boeing, can in fact say to you, I want my accounts done in Timbuktu, in Niger, and it can be done and delivered to the office in real time. This is what has offered the opportunity that Jamaica can now interact with the entire global economy effectively and efficiently, and generate opportunities for our young adults to practice their profession and earn real income. Entry-level jobs, yes, are relatively low income, but there's large numbers of Jamaicans who don't have the capacity yet to work at another level. But the availability and opportunities at the next level is there, and the jobs actually pay better than what now exists. In fact, recently I had a discussion with one of the companies, and I know the fact that they pay better than the banking industry. They pay better than the hotel industry, which is what we promote and many of us see as the way out of poverty and getting a job. Tourism does offer significant opportunities in Jamaica. Tourism has employed thousands of people, but the reality of life is that the difference between those at the top, who earn huge sums, and those at the bottom, unless they get tips, is extremely wide. And there are very few young people who can enter, even from this level, enter the tourism market as a training manager, and the salary offered, I know many UTech graduates have actually walked away unless they can do nothing else. The business process outsourcing industry offers jobs in a tiered way, and many of them are much better paying for graduates. We have developed advantages in the area of business, and I know we are expanding to look at other areas of activity as the country has become known as a good destination with bright and creative people. This career fair this morning is a good place to expand your knowledge on what business source outsourcing means. The government itself, of course, is committed to providing not only the opportunity, but the training that is required. But bear in mind, as I said, it is practice your profession. And the aspect of outsourcing is maybe a shorter part of the course, They seek individuals who are trained as engineers, in the legal profession, in the medical profession, as well as accounting, law, and other aspects of business.
Dodge & Global Marketing Strategy Consulting. Marketing isn't a department, it's a system. Having an integrated and cohesive marketing plan allows each marketing technique to support the others, thereby creating a synergy of branding and growth for your business. Dodge & Global can assist you in making smart decisions with lasting value in regard to the following key decisions. Determine if there is a paying market for your products and services. Craft long-term and short-term marketing goals. Define marketing campaigns. Create marketing strategies. Select powerful marketing techniques to reach your audience. Choose a brand and image that reflects your core message. Design marketing materials. Design internet marketing strategies. Track marketing results to determine the strongest techniques. Because it's so important to create an integrated marketing strategy that will bring in business. Get advice and mentoring from people who are already successful marketing experts. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Unemployment is not great in Jamaica, we all know that. So we're happy that BPO is bringing jobs to Jamaica, bringing opportunities to Jamaica, and it gives you an option. If you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, you want to be an actuary, you want to, whatever you want to do, you want to start your own business, use this as an option while you get that started to help you through that. I want to tell you guys 2 stories today about people who I've seen in this industry and how this industry has helped them. So the first person I want to talk about is somebody called Nick. Nick started out with us at VXI as an agent, and he's a big guy. He was an athlete and he got injured, so he couldn't play sport anymore, so he came and wanted to work with us. He didn't know anything about BPO, he had no training. So he came and he was working with us, and after about 6 months he came to me and he said, "Mike, I really want to thank you." I said, "For what, Nick?" He said, "Well, you guys have given me an opportunity. I just bought my first car. I've been working here 6 months as an agent, and I bought my first car. I have it on the road now as a taxi. So while I'm here working, making good money, I have a taxi on the road and I can make money for myself otherwise." And I said, "Nick, well, that's great." About 3 months later, he came to me again. He said, "Mike, I just put my second car on the road." So I said, "Wow, well, that's really amazing." He's been with us for about 9 months, and now he has a secondary business. And he was talking to me about his plans after the industry and how he wants to stay here with us for 2 years, and then he wants to start his own business. And he's now looking at not just taxis, but he wants to buy a higher-end car so that he can, because he sees how our clients come in. They come in either in nicer cars, not taxis. They come in from the airport. We have clients here all the time. So he says he wants for us to give him business. He wants to have a nicer car so that when we have clients come in, he wants to be the person to go and pick them up. So that's one quick story as to how this industry has opened up a door for somebody to start their own company outside of the industry. He was working with us. He continued to work with us and was able to start his secondary business. I know a lot of you in the audience definitely didn't have BPO as something on your mind when you were growing up. You may not have had it in your mind until maybe just today. But as I said, it's an opportunity, it's a chance for you guys to make some money, get a job, get good experience. You heard how you're speaking to overseas people. It's a great, great, great opportunity. I encourage everybody here, no matter what you want to do, if you leave school and you don't have something right away, take a look at any single outsourcer. It's a great opportunity for you guys to get experience. The second story is about a person who was a coach, and we identified this person as a high potential individual. So what a coach is somebody who they're right above the agent level. They give advice, they listen to calls, they help you along, help you to get better as an agent. And so this person started out as a coach. We've been open at VXI for a year and a half. She started with us a year and a half ago. Very quickly she moved from a coach to a team leader, so she was now responsible for 14 people, helping to develop 14 people. Many people off of her team were able to be developed as well and grow into other roles. They were able to grow from agents to coaches. She then moved to an operations manager from a team leader, and she's now an associate director in the company. That all happened within a year and a half. There's not many industries, whether in Jamaica or the rest of the world, where you can have that kind of growth that quickly. You hear a lot about the jobs that come into Jamaica from the BPO industry, and everybody kind of thinks of them as agent-level jobs. But we have about 650 agent-level jobs at VXI, but we have 900 employees. That means that we have over 250 support jobs. So not only do you have an opportunity to be an agent and earn some money there, but you also have an opportunity to grow into a leadership role, which is really what my hope is for every single person.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just make it clear for you. The business process outsourcing unit, all it simply means is that a firm has a business and they have decided that some aspect of their business, they would like to outsource it to another business to do it for them. There's a possibility that the other business can do it a little better than they can because that's their area of expertise. That's where you will come in. Primarily, what they will ask is for the persons to deal with their customer service side of their business, while they will deal with the technical side of the business. And I can give you a very easy example. I hear you, all of you taking out your phones early on. Your phone company can decide to outsource their customer service area of their business. So whenever you call with a problem, or if you didn't get your credit, or whatever the issue is that you might have, you will call and you might get a business process outsourcing sector, and they will now take care of your call. They will answer your questions. They will assist you with whatever information that you need to get at the time. Now, so that's business outsourcing. So as we go along, we're going to talk about what it is that you really need. Now, there's three things that you need to ensure that you know. It is leveraging of the technology or specialist process vendor to provide and manage an organization, critical or non-critical enterprise process and application. There are several areas in the BPO industry that you can be a part of. It could be tech support, it could be telemarketing sales, it could be IT help desk, it could be insurance processing, data entry, data conversation, it could be bookkeeping, form processing, and customer support. So some of the areas that are involved in the BPO industry. Now, in the customer service area, you could work in the customer service area and be asked to do voice over email. There are times, many of you, I'm sure, have gone online and you have seen where they'll tell you that help is available online and you can type and talk to somebody online. That could be a part of the BPO industry because that side of the business could have been outsourced. So if you have the ability to type fast, to type, good use of the English language, then you could work in the BPO industry.
What is the HeartTrust NTA's contribution to the BPO industry?
Well, we have a partnership with the Business Processing Outsourcing Association of Jamaica. Our primary role is that we are actually providing training and certification for persons who want to enter into the BPO industry. So right now we have three main types of training programs that we are doing. We have a customized program that is offered over 3 weeks. We also have a job qualification program that we offer for 6 weeks, and we also have our NVQJ, that's a national qualification program, vocational training program that we offer over 9 to 12 months for the BPO industry.
What plans does the Hartress NTA have to contribute further to the BPO industry in Jamaica?
Well, we actually have additional plans, not only in training, but also to break ground. We're actually putting together certain plans to break ground right now to create a BPO finishing school, where we'll be able to, better able to provide persons with the soft skills that are necessary to work in the BPO industry.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life runs art, I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
What exactly is the Avasan Foundation?
We are a non-for-profit organization, part of Avasan, which is a global management strategy firm, and we are headquartered in Southern California, and the mission and focus of Avasan Foundation is in the space of youth empowerment, and we do that through education, providing vocational skill training like the ones we do in Jamaica, employment, getting them hired mostly in the BPO sector because it's a fast-growing industry, and entrepreneurship. Any of them who have the field to start their own business, we give them basic training so that they can put their ideas into action and create jobs.
What has the relationship between the Avasan Foundation been with the BPO industry in Jamaica?
Fantastic. Our partnership with them, so I always say we have two key stakeholders. One is the youth that need to do the training to get the job, and the job creators, which is the BPO sector. I feel very blessed and honored that Jamaica, first of all, has welcomed us with open arms, and the BPO sector has really embraced us. They've given us the opportunity to hire our youth. They give us their trainers. They help our students to come and experience what the industry is about through site visits, and they hire our students when the training is done. So it's a fantastic partnership, and I'm absolutely thrilled that we have this here in Jamaica, and it's only growing.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kefas Francis. I'm 23 years of age. I graduated from the Avasan Training Initiative in 2016. Through that training initiative, I was able to secure an interview with ITEL BPO Smart Solutions, and I got a job. So I have been working with them for the past year and a couple months, and it's really been a wonderful experience.
Hi guys, my name is Samoya Simpson. I am 19 years of age, and after graduating from the Avasan Foundation, I am now employed at IBEX Global, where I am now at for 2 months and 6 days, and I'm loving it there.
And when did you graduate? Just 2 months ago?
Yes.
Hi guys, my name is Ricardo McCarthy, and I'm a graduate of the 3rd cohort of 2016. I was employed by Conduent last year, and I've been working for over a year with them. A great experience. I'm 22 years old, and I really love BPO. Thank you.
My name is Shanika. I was actually a graduate, same cohort as Ricardo, and I started at HGS, which is customer service, and then I moved to VXI, which is sales. The reason why I chose to move to VXI was because, you know, sales, it actually pushes you to be more competitive, and to be honest, sometimes it's better you change your experience so that you can be well-rounded, basically. So that's my experience.
Hello everybody, my name is Travers Evans. I'm a graduate of Avasant from the 2015 the pilot program. So I was the first graduate. I've been employed at HGS for 2 years now, and I've been loving it. HGS is my second family.
Thank you all so much. I think what will be interesting is for you all to talk a little bit about your experience at each of these BPO companies, because for these students here or the potential future employees, they need to know that there are so many BPO companies and what is it that makes it so unique about each one of them. We know they're all great companies, they're great job creators, they compete with each other, they pay good salaries, your life is very good. I think the gentleman this morning from BXI said that one of their employee has bought 2 cars and has started another business. So sky's the limit. But what I want to hear is, how has this experience been for you, and what was your background before you came here? Why don't we start with you, Travis?
Okay, so before the Avasant Foundation, I was unemployed. I heard about the initiative through a youth group that I was in within my community. From the training, I graduated to HGS, and from that point, I've been there. Working in a call center can be hard at times. It can be difficult, but it's good to have a sound mind and enjoy yourself while you're doing it. Where I'm at, it's like a second family. I don't feel like getting up and going to work in the mornings. It's like getting up and going to a second home, because everybody there is just my friends. I can just go and speak to anyone that I feel to about any issue that I have.
So Shanika, tell me, what is the difference? Tell the audience, what is the difference between customer service and sales, and why do you think you wanted to have the other experience as well?
All right, so the difference between customer service and sales is with customer service, you actually get to, help persons. You have to, become their friend. Hey, what's going on for you? What's happening today? You have your soft skills, and you have to build rapport with them. With sales, on the other hand, it's a little bit more, exciting. They call in, hey, I'm looking to get some services. How can you help me? Okay, great. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. What are you looking for? So you're basically trying to be their friend so that you can, get their, you can gain their trust, and so that they can give you some, personal information that you would need to get your sales. So to me, I love customer service, but as per sale, it actually pushes you to be, competitive, because, that person has 3 sales. Hey, listen, I want to be top of the group, so I want to get 5 sales. So it pushes you to be competitive, and, of course, when you get your sales, you get your bonus, you get, as he said, you get some gifts. They give away microwaves. You just feel so good. Actually, where I'm at right now, tonight, they're going to have a Halloween party. So, once I leave here, I'm going to go on and get my costume on, and I'm going to enjoy myself, because that's what we do at call centers. We enjoy ourselves. So you come, it's a very good place to be. You make a lot of money, and you enjoy yourself while doing it. And it actually helps you to speak very nice, like myself. So, yeah.
That's something to take into account. When these youngsters came to our program, not all of them were speaking English fluently. They were speaking a lot of patois. And we don't allow that. The BPO industry does not allow that. And hear them speak. They speak so well, so professionally, and they speak perfect English.
Those were the highlights from the first Jampro BPO Career Fair. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring
retiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We journey inside the reserved halls of the Montego Bay Convention Center out west. But before that, we hear from some of the men and women who work while we sleep to keep our streets clean in time for sunrise. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is Jamaica Magazine. The news is on the other side of this message, so stay with us.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 17. The National Water Commission, NWC, says so far it has spent over $42 million on the Kingston and St. Andrew component of its network efficiency project. The disclosure was made by President Mark Barnett at a JIS think tank. He says that figure does not include the $5 billion Jamaican dollars being spent to replace water mains on Constant Spring Road, Ferry to 6 Miles, Barbican, Marcus Garvey Drive, and Hagley Park Road. In addition, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has committed $60 million to address transmission mains.
So you can understand the magnitude of the work that is required to modernize and improve our water supply network in a growing city. So having recognized that, it will take us another 5 to 10 years, and we're looking at over $500 million to really correct, improve our water supply network in Kingston alone.
According to Mr. Barnett, it will cost approximately $3.5 billion to carry out an overall water improvement and sewage service for the entire country. Government will be allocating $25 million to the Trelawney Municipal Corporation for road rehabilitation throughout the parish. Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, says the work will include construction of sidewalks and installation of drains. He was speaking at the Municipal Corporation's monthly meeting on Thursday. In addition, Mr. McKenzie says his ministry will make an allocation of $1.2 million to the Trelawney Poor Relief Department to undertake housing repairs under the Indigent Housing Program. He says indigent houses being built in Stettin and Martha Brae will be completed shortly. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark says Jamaica is in a fairly good position to access financial assistance in the event of a severe hit by a major hurricane system. His comments come in the wake of destruction to infrastructure in the Bahamas caused by Category 5 Hurricane Dorian. Dr. Clark emphasizes that any hit can put a major strain on the country's finances, and as a result, the government has put a multi-tiered strategy in place. This includes allocation in the annual budget, a $2 billion Jamaican installment to the contingency fund in March this year, and a $285 million contingency credit facility with the Inter-American Development Bank. There are also benefits from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, CRIF, to which Jamaica is a member.
And we are working with the World Bank of putting out yet another layer, a risk transfer instrument, such as a catastrophe bond, but a risk transfer instrument that would allow Jamaica to pay premium and be in receipt of funds in the event of a really severe storm.
Dr. Clark was speaking on Friday at the presentation of the 2019 CRIF SPC Scholarship Award to Herona Thompson. She's pursuing a Master of Science degree in Engineering Geology at the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom. The 4-year scholarship is valued at $5.2 million Jamaican dollars. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith is calling on Jamaicans who live, work or travel overseas to register with the country's missions so they can be easily located during times of emergency. These are the honorary consuls, embassies or high commissions. The call comes as a result of recent devastation of several islands in the Bahamas by Hurricane Dorian. Senator Johnson-Smith, who was delivering a statement to the Senate on Friday, said efforts were continuing to reach the estimated 8,000 Jamaicans in that country.
In terms of any formal register, there is none. There's no national register that we have of these persons, and accordingly, we really just have to be working with the community, circulating names, taking names where persons call and say, well, we have heard from this person and we note it, and or this person has been in the shelter.
Senator Johnson-Smith said the ministry had been able to contact 15 of the 48 persons it received requests to locate, and they were in good health. The Foreign Affairs Ministry is coordinating work to assist persons with emergency travel documents and communication with family. The minister has urged persons to call the Consular Affairs Department if they are still not able to contact family or friends. The number is 876-472-3584. Persons may also send WhatsApp messages and photographs. Still in the Senate, members approved the Law Reform Amendment of Penalties Act, which will update outdated monetary fines for a range of offences. The motion was moved by Leader of Government Business, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. Among the increases are amendments to Section 40 of the Offences Against the Person Act and the subsection dealing with aggravated assault against women and children. Fines will move from $2,000 to $500,000. In addition, the fine for persons found guilty of stealing certain farm products will increase from a maximum of $20,000 to $250,000.
Mr. President, appropriate penalties form part of the government's commitment to restoring confidence in the justice system as a whole.
Senator Johnson-Smith says the amendments are part of a broader reform of legislation across ministries, of which approximately 800 laws are being reviewed.
That work is underway, requiring, as it does, not only internal consultations by the relevant portfolio ministry with the technical teams, but in some cases where issues are cross-cutting, consultations as between relevant ministries, departments and agencies are also taking place.
And finally, the Ministry of Tourism is reporting an increase in arrivals from Russia since the start of the year. Approximately 3,000 Russian tourists visited the island between January and June, when compared with roughly 630 for the same period in 2018. Director of Tourism Donovan White says arrivals are expected to increase further as plans for another airline out of Russia to Jamaica are in the works.
An announcement will be forthcoming soon, but we are in deep dialogues with a major operator of air services out of Moscow to realize new services from that gateway early in 2020.
Mr. White was speaking at the Jamaica Product Exchange JPEX trade show press briefing in St. James earlier this week. In 2018, the governments of Jamaica and Russia signed a reciprocal agreement to waive the visa requirement for travel to their respective countries for persons spending up to 90 days per year for tourism, cultural exchange, or business purposes. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Mosquitoes can spread diseases such as dengue fever. Common symptoms of dengue include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, nausea, and vomiting. If you feel you have dengue fever, visit your doctor or health center, rest, drink lots of fluids, use only paracetamol for pain. Do not take aspirin or other painkillers. Protect yourself from dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. A message from the Ministry of Health.
They are often overlooked, but the work of the island's sanitation personnel is extremely important to the growth of our country. If the roads are not cleaned, we can get sick or see the outbreak of diseases crippling not only our health sector, but also other critical areas such as tourism. Come with us as we see through the eyes of some of the nation's street fairies.
Once upon a time, in a land far away from a fairy tale,
were a people who lived the way you and I do, but a little differently. Much like the shoemaker and the elves, these street fairies don't leave beautiful pairs of shoes behind, but their art shares some similarities, and it's nonetheless worthy of recognition.
Good night, Dana Anderson, shovel user, shovel and jump, clean up Jamaica.
I'm working in company 8 years now. I like the job, keep the place tidy and clean.
They always say to me, say, this is not a woman's work, but a woman has to do what a woman has to do, eh? You have to work for yours, eh? Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing, so you have to work for it.
Yeah, enough of the woman they work hard and plenty of the man them. I get used to my work still, so I feel no different from the man them. At the end of the day, I will bread where I work for. So any work for woman. Woman do man work nowadays.
I'm all right with my work. Yeah, I can provide for myself, my nephew, my niece, my child. She don't really like me day out here, you know. She rather me day with she, but I have to make ends meet. I have to work, I have to pay my bills them. But they don't give me nothing, I have to work my own. But people that see me and want to style me and this, because I try to chuck work me do and them things there. But I don't really watch my face. Because I know, say, when my money enough, you see me?
I want to burn fire upon this whole foolishness that people talk from time to time about. If they don't litter, people don't get work.
Yeah, that's what them say some my time. But them can do better still. Plenty of them can do better still.
Enough of them like we, enough don't like we, because sometimes we have to do that with all the truck like all that, so now them not say, we move from there, say we don't thinking truck and them things, but we don't care about that. That's our work.
When you litter, you waste the resource of your country. You make life more difficult for yourself and your fellow men. And you destroy the aesthetic, the beauty of our country that we boast about so much.
We are cleaning up Jamaica. And without cleaning up not Jamaica, wiper, disease and germs are broke out. So everybody who work with solid waste, important people them. All are important.
Differently from the sweeper them, we don't like the garbage bag up and we go through it more easier for it. More time we come out and have to wait on the sweeper them like on the just seat right now. We have to wait till the street sweep up, but if it's bag up, it's more easier for it.
Just the fact that you are generating solid waste, I ask you to just take some time to package it properly so that it gives us more ease of cleaning. And it also helps the side men, side women. They are human beings too. Their job is already very difficult. Don't make it more difficult for them by giving them extra work to do. It is very tough on them. The job is difficult. You know, it's not just about lifting things put in a truck, but some of the things they encounter out here. Bags with human feces. That's common occurrence, especially in the market district. The smell of urine is everywhere, and it's in the solid waste that they're picking up. All sorts of meat cuttings, fish bone, fish back, fish gut. Just about anything that people don't want, and they have to pick it up. They have to face it.
A certain time at the night, when we reach certain hours at the night, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, gunman can all strike and we have to run left the garbage some of the time and all them things then. And come back around and take it up, see, because we cannot leave it. See me? We cannot leave it. And we don't like them keep Jamaica beauty and clean.
Well, I stay out of them way, and I'm not really go for them though. I still think them happen, you know. I just stay by myself, each time I look a corner.
And yet, despite the tough nature of the job, these people show up not just for work, but they show up and work.
We're backbone of the company, you know. Who clean the rubbish and my backbone, we're the most important people in the company. How we clean up work, enough mess and good rubbish, bad rubbish, all different kind of rubbish.
I believe deep in my heart that if you talk about heroes and heroines,
our sidemen and sidewomen are right up there with any because of the human service that they provide and in very tough circumstances to keep Jamaica clean. Day after day, night after night, they are out and about, they roll up the sleeve, and notwithstanding all that they have to face, their head is down and they are going relentlessly in pursuit of that clean Jamaica. I laud them, I lift my hat to them. They are good people. I just hope that more and more people will see them for who they are. People who are there to safeguard the health of the nation. They are the NSWNA. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah, I love my work. I love it. I love clean the shovel. I get me use at night time in the shovel.
And as sunbeams break the night sky and the stars and moon bid their goodbye, the city smiles.
We island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Next, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Government moves to secure Jamaicans affected by Hurricane Dorian, advances work to improve the island's drainage, and
in Jamaican terms, you would describe Ken as a nice man. As a nice man, a man of great honor, integrity, dignity.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there are no reports of Jamaicans dying in the Bahamas as a result of the recent passage of Hurricane Dorian. In Parliament last Tuesday, the Prime Minister also revealed that 31 Jamaicans living in the Bahamas had sought and received help from the Honorary Council in the country.
Jamaica continues to stand with our brothers and sisters and Bahamian friends during this testing time.
In the meantime, Mr. Holness says a Jamaican interagency group was assisting relief and reconstruction efforts in Abaco and Grand Bahama, the islands hardest hit by the storm. The team, he said, was providing humanitarian, rescue and recovery needs. In addition to that, the Jamaica Defense Forces Disaster Assistance Response Team DART was helping the Bahamian government to build temporary shelter, establish distribution points, clear routes and reinstall power. DART will also assist with security and other needs required by the Bahamian government in the recovery efforts.
The government of Jamaica has established a donations account to support our brothers and sisters who have been affected in the Bahamas. The account is at the National Commercial Bank, Oxford Road branch, and the account number is 212-387-304. The name of the account is ODPEM Donation Account. Jamaica should be prepared. And I'm saying this bearing in mind what has happened to the Bahamas. Jamaicans should be prepared.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness's impassioned plea to Jamaicans. He urged persons in flood-prone areas to finalize their evacuation plans. The Prime Minister also called on members of Parliament to formulate disaster plans for their constituencies, which would complement the National Disaster Management Plan.
Urging MPs to start thinking in this way, looking in your constituency to see the communities that may be at risk, start to make contact with them, so that they are prepared to move if they have to move. Start the conversation about evacuation and how you will secure those areas that are evacuated. All of those pre-planning is necessary for recovery and resilience.
Mr. Holness told Tuesday's sitting of Parliament that Kingston and St. Andrew would soon be relieved of flooding when it rains heavily. He told the House that a request for proposal for the design of new drainage was completed. This is part of a national drainage plan that is estimated to cost between 100 and 150 million US dollars.
Hopefully they will go to contracting within a month, and the period of design will be about 6 months. So hopefully we'll have that ready in terms of the major drains that will need to be reconstructed or new drains to be put in for Kingston and St. Andrew.
The National Drainage Plan also includes improved designs for Maypen, Santa Cruz, and Port Maria. Those works, Mr. Holness says, will form part of the greater infrastructure development program that is being finalized. Prime Minister Holness led tributes in Parliament Tuesday to 3 recently deceased former parliamentarians. He said Lawrence Broderick and Glenville Shaw gave sterling contribution to the nation. And reflecting on the life and work of former Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ken Baugh, Mr. Holness said he was a nice man.
He was not about power. He was about service. And that is, to me, the signal marker of his integrity.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Pernell Charles Jr., says work is being done to scale up the diversification of the island's water sources. At a JRS think tank Thursday, the minister said the state was actively seeking sustainable long-term solutions to the island's water challenges.
We, in doing things differently, are moving to identify new wells, to identify new solutions, new technology that can be utilized that is affordable and reasonable, to reduce the reliance on rainfall. At the same time, we have to also look on our structure and our infrastructure.
Minister Charles Jr. also toured 8 corporate area housing projects which are being developed through loans totaling $1.5 billion from the Jamaica Mortgage Bank. During Thursday's tour, he lauded the developers for creating impactful construction projects.
There is more housing that's needed, and so we are going to do whatever is necessary to stimulate the market and to continue to attract developers.
The developments are Kensington Gates, Mayfair Manor, Sherlock Manor, Portview Manor, Edinburgh Apartments, Hewenden Apartments, Harmony Court, and Beaconfield Apartments. Minister without portfolio Darrell Vaz was also on the road last week. From September 9 to 13, he represented Jamaica's interests at the United Nations Trade Forum. He called for members of the World Trade Organization to address the structural and capacity constraints affecting small island developing states. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the 4 corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Years ago, important meetings and conferences were only held inside school auditoriums or church halls. Thanks to the visionary work of the government, the Montego Bay Convention Center was built and has since claimed several international awards due to its convenient spaces for hosting every kind of event. Find out more next.
Functional, a destination for international, regional, and local conventions. Flexible, capable of collaborating with other organizations involved in marketing and promoting the country as the preferred destination of choice. Focused, servicing the needs of all visiting groups and individuals, exceeding their expectations. Situated along the elegant corridor of Rose Hall, the Montego Bay Convention Center, with its oceanfront location and panoramic views, offers the very best meeting and convention facilities in the Caribbean. This agency of the Ministry of Tourism boasts a combined 139,302 square feet of meeting, exhibition, and ballroom spaces. The world-class facility provides guests with superior event management and personalized first-class service from setup to move out. A 5-time recipient of the World Travel Award for being the Caribbean's leading meetings and conference center, it is the place to book exquisite meetings, trade shows, and other special events.
The most important and impressive of its achievements has been the successful hosting of the first ever World Tourism Conference in the Caribbean. I think that the way in which the center responded to the demand for a world-class event was absolutely exemplary, and I think we made a great impression on the global community.
What we really do is to host anything that falls under the term event, from supply of technology, such as supply of a fine food and beverage establishment that we do have on property, our own executive chef, our own culinary food production department. When a client is coming in, one of the ease of which they find to operate with us is that they don't have to go to 2 or 3 different companies or persons to do business with us. We have seen tremendous success throughout the year. One such success that we've had was to again nominated and won the World Travel Awards trophy that take into consideration the finest destination of event management within the Caribbean itself. We went up against 3 other facilities, very good facilities, but again for the 9 straight consecutive years, we have been coming out the top winner for this prestigious award. When you have these events that we can bring them in, and especially in the financial year 1920, then you'll see increase in bookings coming to the hotels. You'll see much more spending in the excursion activities. You'll see much more spending in the nightlife within Montego Bay itself. So that is where we look at things, the economic impact.
The convention center is going to come in for far more attention with the expansion of rooms that are coming in this area. As we speak, I'm looking at the potential for 5,000 rooms just within this immediate area alone. And then when you add the broader areas of Montego Bay, the convention center will perhaps have to undergo some renovation and expansion.
You'll realize that especially for technology, you have to have consistent or continuous improvements and inputs. And one of the things that we look at especially, and the local market has picked it up significantly well, the international market, because of what it's been used in the first world, we have to ensure that the convention center, it does have the latest technology and it does have all the latest applications. So not to say what the investments will be, but especially from a technological aspect, we have to meet the first world requirements. So that is an area that we'll always be looking at, always be upgraded.
The Montego Bay Convention Center, an ideal venue to host any kind of event that the human mind can conceptualize.
We've come to the end of the show for today. Catch us again tomorrow on this same channel. As we go, be reminded to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Hello and welcome to Business Access Television's coverage of the Business Breakfast for the upcoming publication of the Business Year 2019, the Jamaica issue. I'm Keneal Gale. We are here at the Hard Rock Cafe in Montego Bay, where business leaders and the movers and shakers from the Second City are gathered. So let's go inside, mingle a bit, and then hit the stage.
So we are delighted to have you to participate and share in our second edition of the Business Year Breakfast in Mobay. So that many of you, we know, have traveled long distances to be here, and it serves as a reminder to us all just how important our work is. So as a natural lover and a big traveler, I truly think that Jamaica is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And what I can say is that I am proud to live, experience, and work in Jamaica, and I promised to myself that I would portray Jamaica as best as it deserves, and foremost to showcase to the world what is the special island has to offer. So on behalf of the Business Year, I sincerely thank and acknowledge every one of you extended help to us for making this event a grand success. So first of all, Hard Rock Cafe. So Andrea Dixon, thank you. Mr. Fausto Solano, our esteemed partner, Mrs. Diane Edwards from JAMPRO, and the overall team, a JAMPRO team that supported us since the very beginning, since 2017 when we arrived. And thanks to the help and their support, we are here in Jamaica and we can conduct our research. I also sincerely thank Mayor Omer Davis of Montego Bay, Mr. Douglas K. Gordon, founder of Canex, Mr. Watson Lawson, the president of Chamber as well, Mrs. Caroline Fisher, Mrs. Tishura Gibbs, Mr. Robin Russell, general manager of Deja Resorts, Mr. Juan Manuel Merilla, my country editor. So thank you for all of you for your support since the beginning. Sorry. And you, my dear guests, leaders of the country that are leading not only Montego Bay, but Jamaica to the future, I thank you and welcome you. So we stand for bringing Jamaicans together and making Jamaica a better place, a more unified and a more connected place. So most of us already know who we are and our role. However, for the new faces today, let me tell you what TBY is. So TBY is a global media group specialized in economic news and research on national economies and business intelligence. So we have operations in over 35 countries. Our head office is based in London. We have regional offices in Istanbul, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Mexico City. And we have a strong presence already in Latin America. So the way we carry out our research is that we meet face-to-face with the community of leaders, and we stay for an average of 6-8 months in the country to meet with the most strategic leaders and most prominent figures of the country from the main and most important companies, as well as the governmental officials from the public sector. So over 70% of our publication consists of interviews, so that we provide the most accurate and up-to-date perspectives from the experts themselves. So as some of you know, the business year arrived in 2017 for the first time in Jamaica. And we have been invited by the Jamaican Promotion Corporation to compile a comprehensive research on the economy of Jamaica, combining our international expertise with their local experience. So following the success of the first edition of the Business Year Jamaica, we just renewed the MOU with JAMPRO to continue our research and compile the second editions on Jamaican's economy. So our final goal is to create an annual publication about the economy of the country. Thus, our unique platform represents a who's who of the decision makers of the country. And the publication recirculates locally, in the region, but also abroad. On the businessyear.com as well, and since 2018, we have a partnership with Thomson Reuters Icon, Bloomberg Terminal, and Dungeons Factiva. So today, we are all together because we need your full cooperation and support to truly reach the stage where we can have prosperity for all. So we know that Jamaicans, people want to tell stories that are wrapped in their own textures, language, and humanity. So we are here to use our platform to change the global perception and narrative surrounding Jamaica to truly reflect the economic potential of the city and the island, and further highlight the vibrant and dynamic local leaders, such as yourself, that are moving Jamaica forward.
I am very happy to be here this morning on behalf of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce, because this breakfast launch is for us another opportunity to carry out what we believe is one of our natural duties, indeed obligations, as a chamber, that being support and aggressive marketing of this space that's otherwise known as the tourism capital of Jamaica. We recognize this is another grand opportunity, not just because what you will learn or have learned about the reach and the capabilities of the TBY, but this is a place where we have been before. That is to say, only last year the Chamber connected with TBY, and the results commencing with the showcasing at the Jamaica Investment Forum last year spoke volumes. In fact, yes, as Aska said, they officially launched their first publication, the TBY Jamaica, at the forum in partnership with JAMPRO. So let me also recognize the TBY for, one, the interest it has taken in Jamaica and the excellent way in which it had delivered on marketing this space and all the great products and services available. You know, I will admit, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm also very happy for the opportunity this morning for selfish reasons. Yes, selfish reasons. Because I've recognized that this partnership, this renewed connection, sits very well with three overarching strategic initiatives for my administration. Indeed, the 10-point strategic plan for which this administration was mandated to execute on are all within the areas, namely member centricity, modernization, and advocacy. Member centricity, here we want to zero in directly on our membership, on how we can facilitate direct benefits. We had and we still have in mind the Sweet Deal Access, which we are now referring to as the member-to-member discount program. And I encourage all our members to sign on and don't be left out of this pool. We are seeing to the delivery of worthwhile, cost-effective training programs to benefit the members and their staff. This, we know, will have direct benefits in sharpening a critical asset for most, if not all, businesses. And I'm referring to human resources. And I want to recognize Dollar Financial for the sponsorship of our first training program. We expect to arrange a second one in November with a focus on digital marketing. And again, we encourage our members to use the opportunity provided by the Chamber. Member centricity is also about improving networking opportunities and improved flow and regularity of communications amongst our members. That's also being done through our monthly meetings, which we have also now added a new twist of getting these away from the Chamber office facilities, but to different venues across this wonderful city. Hello, Pier 1. The TBY Jamaica connection gels with this mandate of member centricity, as what is top of mind for us is our membership being able to reap the benefits. Those who decide to utilize the services of TBY, they should reap the benefits from the tremendous reach and capabilities for which TBY Jamaica offers.
We take our first break here on Business Access Television's coverage of the launch of the business year. We are in Montego Bay, and when we come back, we will hear from the mayor of Montego Bay, Homer Davis.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of the launch of the 2019 Business Year publication, where Jamaica will be getting another solar issue. We will now hear from Montego Bay's Mayor, Councillor Homer Davis. Let's go to the stage.
Montego Bay, our little city, our friendly city, our beautiful city, carries the title. And it's not something from my imagination. It is something that has been recognized, that we are the fastest growing city in the Caribbean. And for that, you, the members of the business community, you, the members of the Chamber of Commerce, and those who are involved in tourism, ought to give yourself a round of applause for that. Hadn't it been for you to take a risk, investment is a risk, then we would not be seeing what we're now seeing in Montego Bay as it relates to development. So, Montego Bay, the status as it is now, is due largely to work being done in marketing Jamaica as the best place for almost everything. I could say tourism, I could say BPO industry. I could say other investments, tourism-related entities. But what stands out is that Montego Bay is the preferred location. And it is a preferred location because I tell people that Montego Bay is an hospitality area. We have learned to welcome people. It doesn't matter where they are. As a matter of fact, my friend there said when he's in Montego Bay, he feels more welcome. He feels as if he's a part of a community. There's an intimacy with Montego Bay, and that is why Montego Bay is really the preferred location. You've been here for 2 weeks, you're no more stranger. You know just about everybody. You know about just all the eatery, all the drinking spots, all the place to be. And that is a good thing with Montego Bay. So we enjoying what we're now enjoying. It's not an accident. It is a culture. It is a culture that I've developed over the years. Because I came here 40 years ago, and that was the culture where the people of Montego Bay embraces their visitors, whether they are local, they are foreigners. They embrace you. And that is the thing with Montego Bay.
I'd like to start by commending TBY and the JAMPRO team for the initiative to launch the publication last year and the push for a second year. As the mayor said, Montego Bay has been consistently one of the fastest growing economies in the English-speaking Caribbean, and it's important that that be highlighted and presented on a platform that will spur further investment into our future. Last year, I was very active in supporting the business year's objectives because we saw it as an opportunity to highlight some of our companies and entrepreneurs, as well as to promote business in the city. And I would like to say thank you to the TBY team for accepting my proposal last year to ensure that Montego Bay had a special focus in the publication. It would be remiss of me not to also mention that I'm especially grateful for the special attention the city received at the launch of the event at the Jamaica Investment Forum in June of this year. Wearing the hat of I Love MoBay, I am delighted that the business year will now be giving internship opportunities to our youth to allow them to work on a publication of this caliber, reaching a global audience. Business leaders, I implore you this year to facilitate the team from TBY. Ensure your businesses are represented in the publication and your industries are highlighted. I Love MoBay congratulates the business year once again. We wish for you much success with the 2019 publication.
What was your major takeaway from the presentations this morning?
Well, the fact that we're covering Jamaica again for this year. We did last year, and it was good highlight, good focus, and we know that there's a laser focus kind of interest now on Jamaica. We have done very well in the Doing Business report, in the Global Competitiveness Index, and so this, will take us further in positioning and presenting Jamaica as a great place for investments.
So what are some of the opportunities do you see for your industry in particular from a publication such as this?
Well, as you know, we're in the global services business. So our interest is customers looking to do business with existing providers, new entrepreneurs, new businesses in Jamaica. So anything that promotes the capabilities of Jamaica, that highlights the growth and development and the complementary businesses that support global services is good for our industry.
In your presentation, you spoke about the importance of a magazine and publication such as this to Jamaica and to Montego Bay. How will you be ensuring or encouraging your members to try to leverage this type of exposure?
Yeah, well, look, we as a chamber, we always understand the power of marketing, the power of getting your message out. You could have the very best product. You could have, it's the best thing since sliced bread. But if you're not getting your message out to the marketplace, it really means nothing. So we encourage and we will encourage our members to jump on this opportunity. It's, as I had said earlier this morning, that it's a place where we have been before because we did it last year. It was highly successful. You've seen the product. They're also on the World Wide Web. You can view it there. And they have the capacity to get your message out globally. We encourage our members to look at it and to see how well they can exploit the opportunity.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this. No more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
From this type of publication, this type of exposure, what are some of the industries that you would want to see attracted to Montego Bay from these investors?
Well, Montego Bay is known for tourism, the BPO industry, that one is growing, farming, which I think we have a very good opportunity for not Montego Bay, but for St. James, especially the southern section of St. James where the farming lands are located. Because we have a service industry, and a great part of that service industry and this hotel industry is that the visitors who come here, they eat and they drink. I am not sure, or I could say that I don't think that we are really taking full advantage of the supply chain.
So you're saying that there's a lot of untapped potential there?
I think so. I know so. Because from time to time you will hear things. Hotels have to be bringing in this type of agricultural produce, this type of agricultural produce. But with what I've been hearing from Minister Shaw, who is the agricultural minister, and J.C. Hutchinson, it tells me that there's a thinking now taking place that our farmers need to understand that farming is a business. And if you're running a business, it has to be run efficiently, effectively, and it runs in a way in which you can make profit and you can sustain and maintain your family and your life.
Tell us a little bit about SolarBuzz.
Well, SolarBuzz is a energy company focusing on renewable energy. So we install mostly solar projects for residential and commercial clients. We also do a lot of glass glazing and tinting to help reduce heat loads coming into properties to also reduce their energy consumption.
How do you see a company like yours and other similar companies benefiting from Jamaica getting another issue of the business year?
I think that anytime a publication like the Business Year focuses on Jamaica, they're so prominent that it shows us in a very good light worldwide, and business people around the world see Jamaica as a viable investment. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity, and I think we should be very grateful to have them focus on our island.
What kind of investment do you see, or potential investors do you see being attracted by this publication in terms of to come and invest in Jamaica?
Well, I mean, I think we'll continue to see the BPO market grow. I definitely see the energy sector, which I'm focused in, growing. I mean, when I read through the last publication, there was just so many different opportunities that I think that we're going to get a variety of investors looking on the island and just seeing a tremendous amount of opportunities. Even when I read through it, I was getting ideas in other sectors that I'd love to be a part of, but you just can't do everything. So.
Are there also opportunities for future collaboration between local companies and overseas companies?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we collaborate with overseas companies all the time. So, you have to understand your expertise and where you are in your business cycle. When Solar Buzz was just starting out, I knew that I needed some guidance. So I partnered with bigger companies than myself from overseas, and I cut them in on the deal, and they helped to train us and bring us up to standard of international standards where we are now. So yes, strategic partnerships are a great opportunity to grow and become viable on your own.
Tell us a little bit about what are some of the expectations for the 2019 Jamaica publication?
So our expectation is to portray the economy of Jamaica and meet face-to-face with the community of leaders and investors of Kingston, Montego Bay, and the whole part of the island, in order to highlight the business opportunities, but also highlight the economic trends of the country. And our final goal, is to create an annual publication about the economy of Jamaica, and as well as attracting and boosting the economy of Jamaica, but attracting as well foreign direct investment in the country.
For those who aren't familiar with the publication, tell us a little bit about your audience and other publications, other countries that you've done publications for.
Okay, so thank you. Very good question. So actually, our readers are investors, our leaders. So all the publication is read by general managers, CEOs, and all the community of leaders from the private and public segments, the main important companies as well as governmental officials, ministers and prime ministers, leaders of the country. And we reach out 9,350 readers in Jamaica and 88,000 readers internationally, as well as we distribute the publication online on thebusinessyear.com. And since 2008, which is a breakthrough in the history of the business year, is that now we have a partnership with Thomson Reuters Icon, Bloomberg Terminal, and Dow Jones Factiva.
How much of a big deal is this for Jamaica, the Jamaican economy, and businesses in Jamaica?
So it's a great way to give the voice of Jamaicans himself and experts himself, and showcase the strengths and the opportunities of Jamaica and the business opportunities in the international scene.
And that's how we end our coverage of the Business Breakfast for the publication of the Business Year's 2019 Jamaica issue. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. I'm Kenil Gale. Pleasant viewing.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
It's the last PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018, and Business Access TV, as usual, is here to bring you the highlights. I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned. Mr. Mitchell, so tell us about the theme for this morning's breakfast.
The theme for this morning's session is citizen security as a tool for effective crime management. It is intended to raise the awareness of what citizen security is, and shortly, citizen security is the level of confidence that the average citizen feels in his community, and how he feels about his ability to move around in his environment, and what structures the government, the state can place around the community to increase that level of confidence. How the police force and the security forces behave is critical to citizen security. So we're trying to raise the awareness of the population on citizen security and to make people realize that hard policing alone is not enough, that you have to raise the confidence of the citizens in what you are doing.
So how important is it for businesses generally to be concerned about citizen security?
Well, I think it's very important that the level of investor confidence and the level of the business community's confidence is raised, in that their stakeholders can come to work, their employees can come to work, that they can move freely around in the community, and that they will have certainty of operations generally in the society at large.
And for businesses out there considering being a part of the PSOJ, what are the benefits?
I think the benefits of the PSOJ are, among other things, that you get a platform to express your concerns, to express your interests. You get information. We have a monthly economic bulletin. You get President's Fora like this. And you also get to find out what's going on in the society that you operate in. Then we have networking. We have mingles on a quarterly basis, so you do have networking with other members and with important influencers in the society.
So firstly, tell us a bit about what First Rock Capital does.
It's really a real estate investment holding company which has as its core focus real estate investments and private equity.
So how important is a company like that now in this day and age?
Well, truthfully, real estate represents the most finite investment asset, and what it offers is above average returns and stability with respect to capital.
So this morning you're going to be inducted in the PSOJ. How does that feel?
Excellent. You know, the PSOJ's mandate is a very solid one, and you know, the PSOJ has been doing a lot of work with respect to, you know, championing and being an advocate for businesses and just the private sector in general. And what better way to express our support than to be a member?
So we're zoning in a little bit on the discussion this morning. It's about citizen security. How does your company play a role in that, or does that affect your company any at all, do you think?
I mean, security, you know, continues to be a main issue and at the forefront as well of all major businesses and individuals as well. So anything that we can do to enforce or reinforce the importance of it, then, you know, it has our support.
Citizen security, in every sense, has become a vital part of effective crime management. And as we all know, the crime that currently pervades Jamaica negatively impacts human development, it affects our economic development, it touches our social and cultural rights at the local, regional, and international levels. We know this, that when a country fails to protect its people from crime and violence, it leads to a breakdown in the relationship between those in power and those who are being governed. Therefore, we have to ensure that the correct checks and balances are made to foster that relationship by creating the required community action plans, better citizen police arrangements, and having an overall coordinated system of crime control and crime prevention. We've seen the implementation of the states of emergency. We've also seen a number of zones of special operations being declared across several communities in the country in a bid to really put a cap on the criminal acts taking place in those areas. We've seen some positive results, certainly when it concerns St. James and the murder figures trending positively downwards. And we've also seen where acts of violence in general has trended down in these areas. What more can we do? We will explore all of that this morning. But we'll also talk about whether these approaches are indeed effective and how much more can be done in this area. Moving right into the rest of the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Howard Mitchell, President of the PSOJ, to deliver opening remarks.
The subject that we are going to discuss this morning is a critical but not a well understood one, I think, in this society. I think that it is fitting for the PSOJ to end the year with the same topic that we started the year with, which is the issue of crime. The issue that has plagued us every year for more than the last 30-odd years, that has become endemic, that has been written into the fabric of our culture, that children have grown up with, that women have had to learn to live with, that businesses have had to write in permanently into their balance sheet protective devices for their stakeholders. I think it is so important that we remove the callous protective indifference that we have developed towards crime and face it in its stark terms and understand its motivation, its structures, and how to minimize it. You will never rid a society completely of crime, but you can reduce its impact and the terrible consequences on your people. So that I think we want to raise the level of awareness of citizen security in Jamaica, because if we are going to move from growth to development, then we need to understand that our human resources, our citizens, the people of our nation, are the most critical component of that development. And you can have growth. You can, in fact, have growth that mitigates against development by increasing marginalization of a society and sowing the seeds for its eventual destruction. So we need to be mindful, and we need to start planning for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018 after this break.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test. It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test.
Free eye testing is back and it's here to stay. Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply. Make your appointment today at www.islandeyewear.com or call us 630-1180. Island Eyewear, your style, your price.
It's Island Hour, free eye test.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're tuned into BATV's coverage of the final President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. Let's head to the stage.
I now invite our President, Mr. Howard Mitchell, to make his way to the podium to present the certificates to our new members. So, our first inductee today has joined us as an individual member. Please join me in welcoming Nadine Burrows-Siaga. Nadine has managed Island Broadcasting Services Limited, better known as KLAS-FM. She has also worked with National Supply Company Limited, Stewart's Auto, Silver Star Motors, T-Tech Limited, and Prime Sports. 876 on the go. One of our new corporate members to allow commuters to book cabs and make payments online, making transportation more secure for passengers and also for drivers. Bumblebee Digital Agency, specializing in targeted Wi-Fi advertising, digital marketing, social media management, and integrated marketing campaigns. The company has been reinventing how regional partners connect with their audience through its team of professionals and innovative concepts. First Rock Capital Holdings, an easily understood business model. By owning and managing properties that generate income, developing these properties and selling them for financial gain. Green Solutions International is a regional company created to advance energy and environmental sustainability throughout the Caribbean, with the goal of enabling energy-sufficient communities. Green Solutions International, welcome to the PSOJ. Michael University College. Joining us as a corporate member, Michael University College is the oldest teaching institution in the Western Hemisphere and continues to produce graduates who are critical thinkers and prepared to make an impact locally, regionally, and internationally. The Regis franchise is another corporate member being inducted this morning. Consistently providing client solutions, they deliver 100% managed and maintained workspaces as they continue to build their global footprint. Trend Media. They've successfully transitioned from being an online content provider to a full-service digital media house. One of its flagship e-publications, Loop News, is now identified as a credible local news provider. Let me once again congratulate all our inductees collectively.
To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us on a very important topic, one that certainly has dominated the news cycle and the national conversation where it concerns this issue of crime, but more so, citizen security. I want to thank you and we look forward to your inputs this morning. I want to start off with you, Mark Shields. What does it really take to deliver citizen security?
Citizen security, as far as I'm concerned, starts with some very basics that are important to all of us that live, work, come to Jamaica as visitors. I delivered a speech a month ago at the CIM lecture in New York, and I started the point by saying two things. One is, I've been in Jamaica for 15 years, and in 15 years, 20,000 people have been murdered, which seems an awful lot of people to me, and that's 20,000 people murdered, plus thousands and thousands of families, the victims, the untold victims of people who have lost their husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cousins, aunties. So there's all of that group there, 20,000 people murdered. That's a stark statistic. And then we get back to living in Jamaica as it is today. And I have real concerns that before we get on to the technical side of community intervention and real building communities, that we're not doing the basics. It seems acceptable that traders in downtown Kingston can just take over the pedestrian footway. They can hang their garments in front of other shops. It's at a situation where many people who would like to go downtown dare not go downtown because they're in fear. It is also that when I drive to Montego Bay, and as a friend of mine just wrote to me yesterday, he said he's more fearful of driving to Montego Bay than years of gunmen in Denham Town and elsewhere. Because as you know, because you guys do it as well, every time you drive to Montego Bay, you take your life in your hands because you see the bad standard of driving. And that is a real threat, and life should not be like that.
Yeah.
The third point I make is something that I've been, let's say, tweeting about over the past couple of months, and it perhaps became even more ironic last week into this week, that again, the basics. If you look at the so-called licensed taxis in this country, where there are very clear rules and regulations that say that the windows must not be tinted, that there shouldn't be any markings on those taxis, that they should abide by the law like the rest of us, obeying red lights, not cutting up on the outside, all of that stuff that you guys live with every single day of your lives and causes you all stress. And I believe that we have to start by dealing with that. Now, people say, well, how do you do it? I'll take the last one first. There should be a war on licensed taxi drivers and unlicensed taxi drivers. It should be not just the police responsibility, because we always take that short-sighted view, well, the police aren't doing their job properly, but there's a transport authority, there appears to be a very vocal representatives for taxi drivers who came out last week because they were upset about the amended Road Traffic Act, which of course is a good thing and is designed to actually bring us into line. So I feel that we can do a lot. We should be able to live in a normal society, and that means before we get to anything technical, we need to get those basics right. Not rely just on the police, but just take taxis as an example. There is no reason at all why the Transport Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the local authorities, those who represent the taxi drivers cannot get together and clear it up overnight, make it safe for us. We're lucky, most of the people in this room, I bet, drive their own cars to and from work. We don't have to put up with some of the terrible situations that other people crammed into taxis and buses have to. So I think we also have a duty to them to try to improve things.
We are up on another break, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Thanks for staying with us. Here are more highlights.
From where you sit, Mark Shields speaks much towards institutional strengthening. But I want to put to you the citizen having a responsibility as well, and how the citizen carries out that duty within the democracy. Do you see Jamaicans stepping up to call for the kind of order that Mark Shields is advocating for, or are we merely bystanders?
Let me say, if I use the PSOJ and its president as an example, we would say that we're not standing up. In February of this year, the president called rightly for an oversight committee to deal with crime and violence. Now it is November and we have not seen it. How many citizens, how many civil groups have supported that call is really inadequate.
We heard an announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday in New York saying that he's going to be setting up a commission on crime early in 2019.
Yeah, I heard it before that it was going to set up a summit.
Yes, we heard about the summit too,
yeah,
right.
so it's not new. What I said on Sunday at a congregation in St. Thomas, and Mark Shields was mentioning 20,000 killed since he has been here. And I've been here a little longer than him. I said that if any year 500 persons were killed who are the brightest and best, influential leaders, we would find the resources and the time to make significant changes. In other words, because it's not affecting us so much, I live in a gated community. Some people have protective services, but anytime it starts to affect us greatly, we will do more.
This is where I'd love to bring you in, Richard Divins, because the question is, how much of a rights-based approach do we take in dealing with citizen security?
Well, this is something that the government has been starting doing in the last years, at least for a program that we have been supporting, which is the poverty reduction program. And in a certain way, the fact that we are supporting the social inclusion of areas of here in Kingston and other areas in Jamaica, the fact that we are trying to promote a better economy in those areas, we are trying to promote the safety, the social cohesion. This is something which is very much related in improving the security in those areas. And in this respect, it is very important. It's very important when the government, or together with international donors, we are supporting the design of a citizen security program in the social aspect of the citizen security, the participation of the communities in the decision-making of the activities, of the project, of the initiatives is crucial. Without the participation of the civil society, without the participation of the communities, it's impossible to take ownership. We need the commitment of the people.
The question is, what are they committing to, especially when they already think that it's a sort of a one-man against the world situation, the rest of the society is against them. They are there ensconced in their own, enclaves, so to speak, thinking that they abide and apply their own rules. Here comes now social intervention, trying to change all of that. But how much will social intervention be influential to the process? What else is needed?
Social intervention will contribute a great deal. It has been contributing and it will continue to contribute. But by itself, of course, social intervention will not do everything. You speak of citizen security as effective crime management. Citizen Security and Justice Program is out of the Ministry of National Security, but it has a component that deals with the Ministry of Justice. When we look at social development, we have to speak of citizen security, yes, but we have to speak of justice. We have to speak of rights. As you know, Peter Tosh had said, he wants equal rights and justice. Don't give me no peace, I want equal rights and justice. And unless citizens see themselves as owning or owning a process of development, of inclusion, they will not feel as if, yes, it is for their benefit. Our experience has shown, and I'm sure JCIF and other agencies have shown, that residents of vulnerable communities wholeheartedly support and embrace social interventions when they are a part of the process. We deal with crime prevention. As you know, crime and violence is multifaceted. It has many different actors, many different players, many different sectors. We do not treat with crime control, or crime suppression, which we see as the work of the security forces. we think that crime prevention is critical to the development of Jamaica, to treating with crime and violence. And crime prevention starts before a child is born.
Yes.
And it goes way on into adulthood. We have not yet, and the chairman spoke about it, recognized fully the importance or the knowledge. We do not know how important crime prevention is, in that we have to treat with it in a sustained, multifaceted manner. In a nutshell, no ministry should get a budget passed each fiscal year without showing the country where in that budget is the allocation for activities to treat with crime prevention. Because it is so multifaceted, it touches on every sector. Every sector has a role to play. And let me repeat, no budget should be approved unless we can see where that sector, what that sector is doing. We welcome the idea of an oversight or a commission, because what we have observed is that the lack of collaboration among the sectors is one of the handicaps. It is something which causes waste, inefficiency, lack of adequate outcomes. And until the government can have a robust, very robust mechanism, institutional arrangement to ensure that there's collaboration between education, health, national security, all of these sectors working in their own way, but at the same time, designing together, implementing together, evaluating together. Until we get that, we will be groping in the dark to a large extent.
And that's it for coverage of the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Crow Jamaica now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Crow team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@crowhorwath.com.jm. Website, www.crow.com/jm.
Don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Oh, you pretty things. Don't you know?
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work.
Let me make it plain.
The GLC, more than meets the eye.
With their precise mechanical movements, robots seem to be the hit thing. But have you ever thought about their existence? Well, it's said robots have their origins in the ancient world. The modern concept began to develop with the onset of the Industrial Revolution, which allowed for the use of complex mechanics and the subsequent introduction of electricity. This made it possible to power machines with small, compact motors, and in the early 20th century, the notion of a humanoid machine was developed. Today, it's now possible to foresee human-sized robots with the capacity for near-human thoughts and movement. This week, we explore the field of robotics on Career Moves.
I am Dr. Dave Muir. I'm a lecturer and subject leader within the School of Engineering here within the Faculty of Engineering and Computing at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Well, robotics is a very multidisciplinary field. It includes several areas in which you can actually approach robotics from. There's the whole area of computer science, which is, of course, because a robot is a programmed device. There's the electrical engineering, it involves mechanical engineering design, and other areas, even areas in the arts actually come into making the complete robot. A robotics engineer, based on my definition, would be somebody who is, of course, actively involved in development of robotic systems, and I will extend it and say also automated, as I say, systems. When we talk about automated systems, we're simply saying any system that you encounter that is automatic, that requires minimum human intervention, is an automated system. And we love robotics so much because we see robotics as one of the ultimate expressions of an automated environment. Robotics is a very exciting field. The history, well, we could start with UTech right here. We have been actively participating in international competitions where we actually build robots and actually represent not just UTech but Jamaica at the international scale in robotic competitions. So this all started back in 2001 when we actually built our first robot and we entered a competition back in, I think it was South Carolina. This was all with us partnering with the Institution of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, which is the largest technical professional society in the world. So we actually have a student branch here, very, very vibrant, active student branch, which engages in these activities, you know, in order to, of course, build their skills and competences in the areas of robotics. So right here at UTech, we have a very rich history of robotics, and products of our robotics programs are like, for example, Kim Roy, who has done very well and represented us well. Well, there are several robots that are out there. I certainly can't list all of them, but some of the main ones that you may have actually seen, of course, are maybe robots that are actually used in search and rescue operations a lot. Robots that are actually used for that, maybe for detecting bombs. There's a famous robot that is actually used as the Mars rover that is presently out there now, that is actually exploring Mars as we actually speak and actually relaying images down to Earth to give us information, etc. So these are some of the very popular applications. Also, there are robots that are used in healthcare a lot, and of course robots that are used a lot in manufacturing, which here in Jamaica is where it is that we want to go in terms of seeing how it is that we can apply more robots in our manufacturing systems and make the whole processes become more efficient. There's several software that is actually used in actually developing robots. As a matter of fact, there are several stages. There's the design stage, and then there's the build stage, and software is used at every stage. One of the main software that you'd probably be interested in, of course, is the one that is actually used to actually program, let's say, maybe the brain of the robot. Because at the end of the day, of course, the robot is really just a computer-controlled device, and it's executing a particular program. So there's software that is used heavily to actually program, give the robot instructions on what it is that it is to do. There's other software that is used, for example, like maybe CAD software that is involved in the physical design of the parts that actually make up the robot, etc. And there's several other software that may involve in actually testing the robot. For example, in terms of its movement, in order for you to optimize its movement, might require software to actually help you in those design stages as well. So it heavily involves software tools that are actually out there. Some of them free as well that we can utilize in order to really develop the area from robotics here in Jamaica. Common functions that I had mentioned, of course, earlier, what they can think of, especially in the manufacturing environment, is things like, for example, welding is something that is very common. Things like cutting, things like parts assembly, especially you'll notice that the robots deal with like assembling electronic circuit boards, high speed and accuracy. There are robots that are here in Jamaica right now that are actually, for example, packing pallets, you know, that I'm actually aware of too. And the list definitely, as I say, goes on. So the bottom line is, to address a question like this is, anytime there's a task that is very, very repetitive but needs a certain level of accuracy still, then most likely there's a robot that can take over, as I say, that task.
My whole life I prepared my son to lead humanity in the fight against the machines.
In my mind, no, robots will not necessarily take over the future. Again, it's going to be the strong human intervention and the intentions of the humans who are driving and programming the robots. That's, if there is any takeover, it will be from the human side, but not the actual robot itself. The robot being a programmed, as I say, device, it requires, of course, our input, as with any computer system, in order to carry out its tasks effectively. Yes, there are several technologies that are called, for example, like learning technologies, wherein the robot adapts, etc. But it's not going to reach the point where it takes us over. No, we are the ultimate. Inherently, what will happen, of course, is that some jobs, with where it is that we want to go, some jobs will have to be lost because we want to achieve a certain level of efficiency, productivity, and all that, right? So, as with any one of our fields, we have to be lifelong learners, we have to constantly retool, and we also have to be sure that we are the ones that are behind, as I say, the technology, because robotics will also add new jobs as well. You're going to need programmers, you're going to need people who to actually build the robots, you're going to need people who, what we call, have to develop like the tools that the robots actually use, etc. So there will always be space as well for new jobs being created.
And a lot of time I get this, boy, if you have a bunch of robots around the world, you're gonna take away jobs from humans. But let's take the sewage pipeline that is blocked. Who would want to have a human being going down into that sewage drain and clean all that muck? Certainly not me.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Well, I never really have that in the planning still, but the way time hard, I know work hard to get on them thing there, but if that's the only choice, I have to learn it and do it, don't?
Yeah, what you mean? Yeah, man. Make money in it.
I think it's a male-dominated field, and we as females need to come out and shine also, because
If not, we may do better than the males in such a career.
If it's something to help out the human race, instead of we use our muscle and we would use our brain, it would be wonderful.
Well, personally, I had an interest in robotics. You know, my occupation or profession was more geared towards accounting.
I would probably suggest more like economies abroad, like the US or otherwise, because they're more developed and therefore can facilitate your such a aspect as robotics.
No, because Satan think them the world is coming to an end. They say the tablet them when I issue at school, those things are kind of them say good enough to help school people, but after that time it will mash them up because demons think upon it.
Hi, my name is Kimroy Bailey. I'm a roboticist, the CEO of Kimroy Bailey Robotics, and the founder of the Kimroy Bailey Foundation, a non-profit organization chartered to teach students how to make wind turbines and robots. A robot is a simple device, normally automated. It has 3 core parts: input, processing, and output. These devices are able to assess their environment, process the information, and make a decision to execute a specific set of tasks. Robots don't necessarily have to have arms and legs and all of that as we would normally see them in the movies. A simple wheel device that moves around, let's say it takes food from a server and it brings it to the client, that can be a robot as well. The core job of a roboticist is to find a niche where automation will make life easier. And a lot of time I get this, boy, if you have a bunch of robots around the world, what does the human do? And you're gonna take away jobs from humans. But let's take the sewage pipeline that is blocked, for instance. Who would want to have a human being going down into that sewage drain and clean all that muck? Certainly not me. And from that perspective, you could create a robot, you could send it in the drain, you could search for those obstacles, those debris, it can move them, suck them up, gather them in a bag, and move back to top, clear it, and on to the next one. I've been a student at the University of Technology Jamaica, where I studied for my bachelor's in engineering. We entered through the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, IEEE, the world's largest professional engineering body. We entered our international robotics competition. In 2010, Haiti was devastated by an earthquake, and a lot of persons lost their lives. Then we had designed a robot. It was called an earthquake rescue robot. It was capable of going in a building, searching for victims and stating their conditions, whether they're alive, unconscious, or dead, and where in the building were they located. That really sparked the fire, and I realized that Jamaica could be a hub that make robots that push the world forward. At the University of Technology, courses like software in engineering, computers in engineering, the programming courses, the electrical classes, drives and machinery, instrumentation and controls. These are all core subjects that sense the principles, courses like mechatronics, that taught you that a robot is a mechanical and an electrical device, and these 2 core components are integrated as one, and that's how you have the feel of mechatronics. So after leaving the University of Technology, one of my greatest accomplishments there was placing 2nd in the world for the global research competition. In that competition, I built a tropical storm robotic wind turbine. This was a wind turbine that maintained production during a tropical storm. And thereafter I thought about it and I was like, I don't want this research to just sit on the shelf of a library in the beautiful UTech. I want it to be implemented, to be on the ground. That's when I created the Kimroy Bailey Foundation. We now have a community center that's totally 100% renewable, and through this facility we're hoping to teach students the basics of robotics and automation, and it's really to get students to love science all over again. We see science as it's for the nerds, you have to be a genius to do it. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of energy, but when you see those parts moving and coming to life, that's what our camp does. We make science come to life, so you see the movements of science.
In the School of Engineering, we have a few degrees. We have the mechanical engineering degree, we have an electrical engineering degree, we have a chemical engineering degree, an industrial engineering degree as well, right? Of the ones that I've named, the ones that are related to robotics, again, because it's so multidisciplinary, most of them would have aspects that are related to robotics. So for example, like the industrial engineering degree, right? What it is that they're doing is that we're actually training students wherein they can operate in a factory environment wherein the robot would be a part of the production line. So they'll be able to design that whole production process with the robots in mind and ensure that that process is actually optimized. So they will get exposure from that angle. The electrical engineering student, specifically the student that does instrumentation and controls, which this is the lab, that's one of the main labs in that area, would be responsible for directly hands-on actually building the actual robot itself. Right? When we think of the actual robot, again, if you want to think of it like a computer system, right? There are sensors that gives information to the robot. The computer has to process that and then provide certain outputs, whatever it is that we're interested in, just speaking generally. So the electrical engineering, particularly the student that's been exposed to control systems and instrumentation, has a good idea of the technologies at every stage of the way, right? So they can provide inputs, they can manipulate these inputs and get the desired outputs that you want. So an area like electrical engineering, and also the mechanical engineers too as well, would be heavily involved in the actual physical development of the actual robot itself. Moving on to the mechanical engineering side, when we think of the actual housing for this, for the robot itself, right? This is where the mechanical design actually comes in. The choice of the materials, the weight, the calculations, if I'm going to lift something, right? What amount of energy is required in order to lift it, etc. The mechanical engineer comes in and does this level of design. So you can see we're in different aspects in our programs, right? Students are definitely exposed. There are direct courses, like for example, the industrial automation course that deals heavily with robots, but then there are aspects in other engineering modules that we do that will be related to it. Basic requirements, of course, there are the in order to enter our 4-year degree program. We're talking about, like maybe CAPE units of like math, probably maybe physics and chemistry, and we're flexible as well. I mean, there's a standard entry for A-level entry, etc. But there is also room for persons I want to mention who, what we call, need a mature entry. We have what is called a prior learning assessment, wherein persons who are out there who might actually be at a particular skill level could actually put a portfolio together and say, hey, I'd like to enter this, and the university takes them, assesses them, walks them, holds their hand and walks them through and see where it is that they can actually fit into our programs as well. So there's a standard route, and there's also routes that are not so standard but are also working in order for us at the end of the day to really educate our workforce. The diploma is 3 years, and the bachelor's is a 4-year program that we have here. But I must add to that is also, it's modular as well, and in our semesterized system, again, it depends on the load that the student can carry, etc. It could actually even be less than 4 years, right? So it depends on the student. The first thing that you need really is just a fascination. Have a fascination with the technology, be curious about stuff that are actually around you, don't just be what I'd say, maybe consumers of the technology, but go further and see how it is that you can go within the technology and explore what is actually happening. But in terms of skills, of course, basic computing skills doesn't hurt, math skills, some electrical skills doesn't hurt. Somebody who is good with their hands can do mechanical stuff, manipulate mechanisms, that type of stuff will actually go. So somebody who uses their hands a lot and builds stuff, somebody is interested in building stuff with hands-on person, I mean, this is the field, as I said, for them. Because at the end of the day, when you see all these mechanisms that I'll show you that are here that we actually put together, you can see it involves several different skills and disciplines actually coming together. But the core ones are what I mentioned are, for example, definitely the computer skills, the electrical skills, because a lot of it is circuits, and of course maybe the mechanical skills, as I said, to put the whole mechanisms together to achieve that goal that you want.
The job outlook is pretty good from my perspective at least, and again, to a great extent, being the owner of a company, I pay myself and it's rather comfortable.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Robotics work in 3 core departments. You could decide to concentrate on input devices, where your job is just to research and explore the world, how you can have the robot access as much information from its environment as possible, how it knows when an obstacle is moving. You can concentrate on processing, where you don't care about the input nor the output so much, but how the information is gathered and how you process that information and make a decision. And output, do you want the robot to walk? Do you want it to have wheels? Do you want it to have legs? If you having legs, do you want a knee and an ankle and all that details? So you can concentrate on output, just how the robot gets the job done. So these 3 components is where roboticists can look to concentrate or enhance their disciplines. It's an emerging industry, and what you realize, you have a number of small business owners, small entrepreneurs that have probably a very small manufacturing space, and they just want to know, what are my employees doing, in which room are they occupied, how can I automate my machinery instead of being able to man it 24/7. And we can step into those industries or companies, automate those processes for them and move on to the next one. And with that, we're not displacing employees, we're just increasing efficiency and product output. The job outlook is pretty good from my perspective at least, and again, to a great extent, being the owner of a company, I pay myself and it's rather comfortable. Seeing the fact that I do have a full-time commitment to the Wigton Wind Farm, I would go to work from 9 to 5. I come home and start working here from 7 to 9. So it's for 2 hours per day, per week, Monday to Friday. On a Saturday, I'll put in a full day's work, probably an 8 hour, etc. And from that side entitlement, you still are able to bring home a comfortable amount of money. We're still able to employ 5 persons and compensate them accordingly. And we're still able to invest in machinery and equipment and expanding our reach and building our brand. You really have to be aggressive at managing your time. A robot is a very complex being. You need a team that is eloquent in their various disciplines. You need to know the strength of your team and the weakness of your team. With that said, you need a nice balance of those persons from everyday life, because at the end of the day, you're not making a product for an engineer, nor a specialist, nor a doctor. You're making a product for a person, and they have to like that product first.
The field is certainly not fully utilized at all, and with what is happening definitely today when we look at emerging stuff, for example, like the logistics hub and what is happening, the technology requirements that are actually there, etc., it's not fully utilized. In terms of us developing our workforce to meet the international demands of logistics hub, right? We have to ensure that what it is that we're doing, we're fully utilizing these different skills and competencies, because this is what is going to be needed. This is how the world is operating. And when Jamaica bids to become the fourth logistic hub of the world and to compete at an international level, this is directly what it is that is actually required in order to compete. Right? So the skills aren't fully utilized. I'm aware of, for example, there are companies down by the wharves now wherein if you can't troubleshoot electromechanical systems like this and the ship is delayed, then it's like maybe $20,000 for like every 5 minutes or something like that, some crazy figure, as if you can't do stuff like that. So these skills that are there aren't utilized at all, and we definitely need to utilize it more. We need to encourage more people to be a part of this thing and so, because the opportunities are there, and I'm very, very positive that more opportunities will come in order for us to get to where it is that we need to get to. There is a market in Jamaica, but a part of it will involve not just maybe us, but also maybe the entrepreneurs, us linking more like maybe with the business schools and stuff, and really looking at those niche, as I say, areas, right? I see a lot of people struggling in terms of local manufacturing in order to really achieve what it is that they actually want. They feel that the solution is always maybe to go abroad and get a new piece of equipment, when the solution might be right here where it is that we actually are, but it's just for us to come together and meet their needs. If you have an interest, start to hone, as I said, that interest. Find an outlet somewhere where it is that you might have common, people with that interest, and try and build that interest. And also, in terms of your fascinations, I always go back to the fascination, because you have to have a fuel that drives all of this. And I always say to myself, the core fascination that you actually have, you have a core fascination with the technology, explore it. Definitely don't stop here. We're not limited being a third world country or so, because everything that is on the internet that fascinates you is right here. So reach, as I say, and go for it. Talk to people, find mentors, you name it, they are there and willing to assist.
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So basically we wanted to put it at the central position so you can get the most sun.
Robotics and automation is a very difficult field. It's very challenging, to say the least. One thing I'd encourage students is believe in yourself. Think of a product, preferably a product out of this world, something that it's very hard for you to achieve. And why such a difficult product? Why should I not say do something easy and then you build your confidence? With a very challenging product or a very challenging robot comes the task of how am I going to make this possible? It makes it dig deeper, and when you have those moments of giving up, just place your hand on your heart. And when you feel those pulses, when you feel that heartbeat, you know that that is purpose. That is purpose deep inside of you, and never ever give up until you reach that finish line. You can research things online, you can ask questions on our Facebook page. We encourage innovators and entrepreneurs to share their views. Also at www.kimwabailey.com, we have a guiding footprint for persons who want to walk my shoe or even be greater than I have done in robotics. Just to check it out, see my university story, how I transitioned to become who I am today, and know and believe that this little country boy from the hills of Trelawney could go to Seattle, Washington, USA and place second in the global research competition, and awarded by IEEE, the world's largest professional engineering body, outplacing Pakistan, New Zealand, Australia and America. Then you know you can do it too. You surely can.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women. This week on The Good Life, we'll take a look at our very own castor oil and why it deserves a place in every home. We'll talk to Joel Harris of Chavot Farms, and then later on we'll visit Somerset, Manchester to see castor oil production done the old-fashioned way. Stay with us. So we did a walkthrough of Chavot Farms, and now we're here with Mr. Joel Harris, who's the marketing director and co-founder of Chavot International, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more about his business. Mr. Harris, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. So talk to me about Chavot International. What is it that you guys do?
Chavot International is a manufacturing and brand Chavot, the brand Chavot. And Chavot means harvesting goodness. What we do essentially is that we take all natural, authentic Jamaican products and we turn them into unique products. In other words, we take them from the ground, the farm level, and we turn them into agro-processed products. So in other words, we turn them into value-added products that we can share with Jamaica.
We're here today to talk about castor oil and how you go about producing that.
Well, first of all, let's establish the traditional method of Jamaican black castor oil dating back for centuries. It's a Jamaican culture, enriched culture product that persons take by harvesting the seeds from their farm or from their backyard or so, like your grandmother would know and so. And after harvesting, the seeds are then dried. And they would roast the seeds until they have a dark charcoal, not charcoal, but dark, very dark in color. When the seeds are roasted, then the seeds are taken into a mortar. And if you go back to your history, you know, a pestle and a mortar, when you have your grandma making the curry and then grinding it up into the mortar. No, when that happens, they then take the grounded seeds, the broken seeds, and then put it into a boiling process. And that boiling process helps now. Exactly, so the oil and water doesn't mix, so the oil of course rises to the top, and of course the trash or so is sinks to the bottom, and then you will have person have a ladle and scoop off the oil, skim the oil. And that oil is then filtered through like a muslin cloth or so, and then when it's cooled down, it's bottled.
Well, castor production here is a growing industry. Why did you decide to get into it?
Well, women, we have been hearing a lot of demand from women wanting to go on natural. And one of the products that were on the market was Jamaican black castor oil. By the time we knew nothing about Jamaican black castor oil, we were in tea production. It was way out of the range for us. And what we decided to do was like, you know, this could be a potential for us. So we asked women, what do they like, what you don't like, how you use it, you know, what about day, type of night, treatment usage, everything. And we got positive response, and they was wanted authentic Jamaican black castor oil. The problem is that there's so many different countries producing Jamaican black castor oil, and it's not from Jamaica. And we said, you know what, we want to make a difference in the industry. Let's produce an authentic, recognized brand of Jamaican black castor oil. That's how we started.
You've been on the market for some time now.
Yes, we've been in the market for about a year and a half with our Jamaican black castor.
What has the feedback?
Positive, very, very positive. What happened is that persons love Jamaican black castor oil, but they don't like a pungent smell. A pungent smell. Like women have to be washing what they hear tirelessly just to come outside. And so we figured that by monitoring our roasting levels and the temperature that we adjust to our castor oil, we find that we're able to adjust that smell. So it has a nice lighter aroma that person actually can adjust to. And person can just rub into their hair and just walk outside and have no problem. That's our main theme factor with our Jamaican Black castor oil. This heavy on this, light on the scent, but same great quality, no additives, no preservative, no salt. It's found in our products, so your hair won't be falling out. And it's on the go. We sell it in a 4-ounce bottle. You can find it in Fontana pharmacies. You can find it in Discount Beauty, Earth Elements, and Shears Hermer, and other major beauty care salons as well as hair care. We export to Australia, we export to the UK as well as the US. And there have been growing demands around the world for other, for Jamaican Black castor oil. Of course, persons are asking, what else can you do apart from Jamaican Black castor oil? Putting it in a shampoo or conditioning format or a body cream or body butter. So we have been getting an overwhelming positive feedback and response for Jamaican Black.
Have you done the grandmother test where you give it to an old lady and, you know,
Yes.
how does this compare?
We have. And persons have a feeling of nostalgia. Persons who are abroad, so yeah man, this is the real Jamaican Black castor oil, remembering the smell and so, and the texture and the feel. But of course, you know, them kind of a shriek because back in their days, they don't really put it in them hair, they use it as a washout.
Yeah.
And of course, they would be going and they would be giving it to their kids and their moms would have been giving it to them and they're thinking, using it for drinking. So no, it's just for personal hair care use. We say to people that yes, Jamaican Black castor oil have been traditionally being used for internal purposes, but we heavily recommend that you do not do so, and it's for external purposes. Just because one, we don't want to be persons to rush into the hospital because of accident or anything like that. But we say that it is best to use for external purposes.
We had visited your farm earlier, and it's quite a sizable farm. Talk to us about your farm and, you know, what type of labor force goes into such a farm.
Right. We grow on 150 acres, and we also buy from other local farms. Currently to date, we had productions up to 80 acres of production. Now, our castor is grown organically. That means no additional fertilizers, no chemicals. What we do is, of course, that we do weeding to make sure the land is clear. We dig up the land, of course, and the soil to make sure that the soil receives the seeds properly. And we plant in a time to where we expect rainfall. Now, additionally, what we also add is drip irrigation. That also balances out the times when there are periods of drought. Now, the castor plant is resilient, but is not fully drought resistant. So, without enough water, it will hamper the amount of yield that you will get from the castor plant. Now, the castor, 1 acre of castor will produce about between 1,200 to 3,000 pounds of castor seed. What that means is that without irrigation, you can expect between 1,000 to 1,200. With irrigation and some amount of natural fertilizer, maybe chicken manure or even this compost, you can increase those yields nearing to 3,000 pounds per acre. Now, it takes about on average 2 to 3 workers to complete an acre, possibly acre within a day. When it is mature, the pods are mature, is then hand-picked and harvested, and then placed into large carcass bags. There it is weighed initially, and the weight is usually, you get between maybe 30-40 pounds maybe per bag, a bit more, depending on the bearing, clusters and stuff. And from there it is then taken into a large laid out tarpaulin, a large drying area. And of course the seeds are then laid out, the branches are laid out, and then they're waiting until the green pods turn brown, dry and crispy. From there it is then taken into a hollow that removes the shells from the seeds. So the seeds are extracted and the pods are then, the waste is then extracted. And from there, we're in the process now of trying to inform the seeds into Jamaican black culture.
All right, so we've discussed with Mr. Harris his castor oil factory and the farm, but you have to stay with us because when we return, we have our Need to Know segment and you learn all about the benefits of using castor oil.
It's season 12 and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We are still here with Mr. Joel Harris of Shavat Farms, and we've been discussing castor oil production. But before we continue, check out our Need to Know segment.
Castor bean trees are originally from India, but today they can be found in Mediterranean areas, and in Jamaica, they can grow just about anywhere. According to the Guinness World Book in 2007, castor bean plants were the world's most deadliest plant, as seeds contain ricin, which is poisonous when ingested. Castor oil is also said to be helpful with sunburn, wrinkle removal, menstrual disorders, and migraines. In addition, the ricinoleic acid found in castor oil is able to inhibit the growth of bacteria, yeast, and viruses.
You touched on the benefits of castor oil usage earlier, but let's go through some of those again.
Right. Jamaican black castor oil primarily has been used for hair growth. So persons who have thin hair or want to grow their hair very, very long, naturally use our product, Jamaican black castor oil. The other benefits that persons don't really know about, but we love to introduce to people, is that one, it actually helps with acne. Persons have used it for acne treatment and have seen positive results. Rub it on the unaffected area over time, and persons have seen results. Of course, with all of our stuff, we don't have any claims to it. Not seen as a 100% guarantee. Right, but we're all using testimonies of persons who have had acne before and have used it on their face and have seen results. Persons who have experienced razor bumps with shaving and so on have used it and have seen a better result. and a smoother skin. Persons, for example, who need antifungal treatment, particularly areas on their feet or whatever, have used Jamaican black castor oil for that as well. Persons who need to go back their eyelashes or their eyebrows, especially if they are shaved too thin or falling out. And I've seen again positive feedback, positive results. There are other uses that persons have used Jamaican black castor oil for. Those are tend to be the minor uses, but the major ones have been used for hair growth and for skin. Have been to smooth the skin. Persons have used it for stretch marks. So there are multiple uses of Jamaican black castor oil.
So with all the benefits that you just mentioned, what makes your black castor oil more potent?
Well, one, it starts from the farming stage. We grow our stuff organically. Second of all, we monitor the temperatures and the process. The reason being is that if we just stick to the traditional route of just roasting it in a spit fire and then boiling it without proper measurement of temperature and of course regulating the amount that we do at a time, we wouldn't know how to make sure to capture the full potency of the Jamaican black castor oil. So our unique process allows us to monitor it in a way that we capture the full potency that Jamaican black castor oil has to offer.
So talk to us about pricing. How do you price your oil?
Okay. Now, normally on the market you will see Jamaican black castor oil sold for between $1,000 to $1,500 a bottle plus UCT. Our prices ranges from $800 to $950 per bottle plus UCT, making our product very competitive on the market. Currently in Jamaica, there are industries that are being declined, such as like the sugarcane industry, the banana industry, the coconut industry. Because of the potential and the minimal costs in producing Jamaican black castor oil and Jamaican farming of Jamaica castor trees, we find that persons find Jamaican black castor oil production to be lucrative. As of such, there has been a growing interest, and we do expect the market to continually grow. The thing is that the interest is there, it's just to have a unified effort in being able to be established as like an association that able to disseminate the information on how to grow, how to produce, what's the best practices, and of course have a unified body to say this is Jamaican black castor oil. So it's a very valuable business.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Harris, for talking to us. I'm sure we've learned a whole lot about not only castor oil, but castor oil production. So what do you know about the old-fashioned way of making castor oil? We take our final break here on The Good Life. You don't want to miss this when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I am Mrs. Richards, Esmeralda Richards, and I grow castor oil for a living. Yes, and everybody call me Miss Babes as a pet name. We are in the parish of Manchester, and this little district known as Somerset. I'm a castor oil grower. I grow castor oil. I manifest it to market. I've been doing castor oil for a few years, long time, from I was a little girl. Because when I come up, my grandparents used to do castor oil. So we just come up and engraft it. Like somebody buy it from me, use it, and they get the benefit and they recommend it to somebody else. And then the news spread around. Sometimes they send an order it. But right now, somebody ordered 2 quarts from me for about 3 or 4 months back. Somebody coming from foreign want it and send an order it, and all now me have it at the house. We prepare the ground, and then we dig the hole, and then you put the oil seed in it. And by 21 days, they grow, and they grow up to be a big tall tree. And when they reach about 3 months old, they start to blossom. And they blossom, and then the oil start to put on. Yes, and a few months after, then the oil ready. So the oil, when it is fit, and when it fit, it dry. And then you just break them, get them dry, and you ox it out. Okay, you dry it, and whenever time you're going to process it now, you wash your castor oil, you put it in the sun and it dry. Then you take it up and you parch it. You make up the fire, put on this pot on it, and you parch the castor oil. And when you parch it now, you put into a mortar and you beat it until it becomes smooth. Then after that, now you put on a pot on the fire with some boiling water, put it in there. And the pot being boiling, and then you turn until you see the oil begin to come up on the top. When the oil come up on the top now, you skim off those oil, skim it off, put it into a next pot, put it on the fire again, and then it boil out until you see the natural oil. Until you see the natural oil, then you strain your oil and begin to bottle it up, ready for market. This is how the castor oil bear. This one is young. And whenever time they get fit, the color change. The color change. This one is still young. This one come into the market. You see how we have the dry one on it? So whenever time they get dry, we just break them off and take them home and then shell it out. And then you have the grain, the seed then ready for the markets. You see, some people buy the grain. Right now I get from the grain, I get $200 a quart for the grain. But whenever time I boil it, on the little flask bottle, I sell it for $1,500. If you did ever see this tree, when they were in the bloom, it was a beauty. Every car pass stop and look at it. It was so beautiful, but because they get old now, that's why they look like this. A gentleman buy a flask of it from me for his wife. And him say, if you ever see him wife here, what beautiful black color here. Yes, man. Some people, when they parch the oil, they make it burn. When I parch my oil, I don't make it burn. You know, I don't make it burn. But when you parch it and it get dark and you beat it, you get that black castor oil. But I don't make my own dark, you know. I like the clear color. And I sell this bottle now for $1,500. And 4 of this fully quart bottle. Sure, I should sell it for $6,000, but anyway, I just sell it for 4.
Yes, I'm Robert Richards, a young farmer in Somerset District, Manchester, cool Manchester. The main problem you have with castor oil is marketing. Marketing of the product. Once it comes to perfection, to get it marketed is the biggest problem that farmers face. That's why you find less young people are interested in it. Castor oil grows here. It's good on the root, the scalp, everything when it comes to natural hair. You find most people into hairdressing and stuff, they want castor oil. But the problem is to get it to them. It's good for your skin too. And I've been told you can eat it on salads. Just a little, just spread it across your bread, and not too much, but it can be used as some dressing for your sandwiches or whatever. So just like you'd have your dish dryer, the trash from it does an excellent job. Making fire to run mosquitoes, you know, just the smoke off of it runs away the mosquitoes. You know, more time you have things around you that is very valuable, but because it is not out there like that, people tend to, you know, young people would more be like going into a pharmacy and get a tin of Vaseline than castor oil, which castor oil will be more beneficial. Even for lotion, you can subsidize some of the lotions for castor oil. Because it's good for your skin, it preserves the skin and everything, you know, rashes and all of that. You have a burn, you just pass a little castor oil over it. It heals. Toothache, bad teeth, swelling, castor oil draws that down. So there's a lot of other stuff that, you know, castor oil does. Research have been shown, and we have all seen that we all need to go back to back then, because things that, you know, manufactured stuff that are artificial isn't good for us. We need to go back to our roots and our culture, and castor oil is the way to go. So go castor oil, go.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.